Hi everyone, episode 30. Yeah, back to basics. Welcome Kimo, welcome on board. Hey Nietzsche. Today we're going to do a very short and very basic flight to French Valley. Let me pull up for flight here. So we're currently at Borrego here, and I'd like to go all the way over there. Well, why are we going to French Valley if our mission is to go to John Wayne to do our V2? Because PilotEdge isn't online currently, and I'd rather practice doing flight following and enter John Wayne when PilotEdge, the air traffic controllers are online, so that's why. First up, some sad news. I have a funeral next week, and on top of that sad news, I had to cancel my flight to FlightSimCon, unfortunately. I've been really looking forward to go and meet all the developers, Keith Smith from PilotEdge, but also A2A Simulations. But unfortunately, I had to cancel my trip, and that's why I need to visit next year. So I guess that I will just practice, keep on training here, acquiring my virtual private pilot license here on X-Plane and PilotEdge, and train all the way up to my IFR rating, and then visit FlightSimCon. So yeah, that's life, but then again, that shouldn't restrain me or prevent me from flying and enjoying myself today. So that's why just a very simple, awesome practice flight. And also I've called it a back to basics flight because I would also like to do some stalls, steep turns, just some basic maneuvers again, also to get to know the Airfoil lab Cessna a little bit better, but also just to keep on par, because I haven't been doing those practice turns and stuff for a long time with the A2A simulation Cessna Skylane. So I think it's good practice to dust off those flight skills as well. Also, I'm looking forward to see what French Valley looks like, some custom scenery that I've downloaded, and it brings us a little bit closer to John Wayne here. As you can see, currently there is a lot of IMC over the LA area, which is not that strange because currently, thank you for following, Shu, thank you. Although it's daytime here, currently locally, real world weather wise, it is nighttime at LA, and obviously then a lot of the times there's IMC, a lot of condensation going on, so that's why now on the coast it's more bad weather. But as you can see here on Borrego, usually on the east side of the of this mountain ridge here, the Palm Springs area, it's always good weather. Thank you for following, Kobe. We are going to fly over this mountain ridge and go to French Valley, and if I'm not mistaken, there it is VMC. Yeah, I can already see the green dot there. So that's good. So looking forward, French Valley. It's going to be a good flight. So yeah. Nietzsche, I think you sent you a Twitch message. No, I haven't seen it. No, send me again, and I will have a look. All right, so that's the idea. Just a casual, nice flight to French Valley from an untowered airport to another, and while doing some practice flights. I guess it's better to do our practice flights here around the Borrego Valley area. As you can see, there are some military airways here, and even though the air traffic controllers on PilotEdge aren't online yet, they are still asleep. The PilotEdge does generate military activity or aircraft activity, drone activity around these airways. So we need to make sure that we're not going to fly into those. As you can see, 4-digit number airways, so they are flying below 1500 feet AGL. Still, it's important to have a look at. We've also got some usual Victor Airways on top of us. So I guess here around the Borrego Valley, here around this Borrego Sink Lake, we can do some practice turns, and in case we've got an engine out or anything bad is going to happen, we can just glide down to Borrego Valley. So we're going to do our practice flights here. Also, I'd like to do some traffic patterns just to get into flying again, just to nail those landings, well, kind of optimize my procedures and my techniques, and then we go to French Valley. It's going to, well, how much time is going to take? I guess not that much. 27 minutes. You've got a 10 knots headwind, unfortunately 10 gallons, 48 nautical miles. Okay. So yeah, I hope you enjoy, guys. All right. So here we are at Borrego. Well, couldn't be any more VMC as today. It's gorgeous weather here, as usual. Nice scenery here on X-Plane on Borrego. One thing that I've noticed is that the apron here, the ramp scenery elevation here, is well, I guess a few feet higher than the actual ground elevation. So you've got a very strange effect here. You can see that the textures here, yeah, are a little bit weird. But anyway, we'll just ignore that and start with our flight. First off, just going to go to my cockpit. Still looking forward to that update or upgrade of Airfoil Labs Cessna with the engine behavior. It's in development. Alright, let's get in. Okay, so first a cold and dark check. Let me see if TrackIR, is it synced? Yeah, but it isn't centered. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so we can remove the control wheel lock. Park and brakes are set. We can already set the fuel pump to both, I guess. Here we are. Go. Windows are closed. ELT is set. Heater is on. I guess that's a little bit silly, but anyway, cabin air is open. Flaps are up. Are my my Saitek panels are in sync. Off. Looks good. My switch panel isn't in sync. I can see beacon lights. There it is. It's in sync, and everything is off. Okay, we got a cold and dark cockpit here, so that's good. What we're going to do now is do a well, we can check our lights. Yeah, I check our lights and pitot heat. So let's do that. So I'm going to disable TrackIR here for a minute. Batteries on. No, batteries on. Yeah, there we go. We can see we've got about 30 gallons in total, and looking at our 4 flights, we need 10. So you could say, well, that's enough, but we also need to make sure that we've got a reserve in case we need to divert, or, well, and I guess it's about 30 minutes or 45 minutes that you need to have on reserve of flight time. And I don't know the metrics of the Skyhawk, but I guess that's enough. Pretty sure that that's enough. Again, that reminds me I need to complete that A2A Airfoil Labs Skylist checklist, and I've been working on that, but it needs to be completed. So, but I'm working on that because it's very important to have my checklist here and get into the flows and get to know the Skyhawk a bit better. Anyway, we've got enough fuel, and I would like to check my lights. So landing lights on, taxi lights on, strobe lights on, nav lights on, and the pitot heat is on. The cover is off, I believe. Yeah. So let's have a quick look. Yeah, free me from this camera position. Yeah, here we go. I can already see the strobe lights here. See some traffic. Oh, that's that Learjet that is flying here. Remembering from the previous episode. Okay. Strobe lights, position lights, well, they aren't working, but that's a bug, a known bug. Beacon lights, let's see if the position light here is on, here on the tail. Seems to be. Walk all the way around. And while we walk around, the pitot heat would warm up. It's not implemented here on the Airfoil Labs Skyhawk like it is on A2A, so we cannot feel whether it is actually warmed up, but hey, we'll just pretend. And finally, the landing lights and taxi lights, and we don't see them because they are somehow behind these textures, but you can see that they are glowing, so that's good. Okay, stall warning. Can we check that? Is there a sound that we can? No. Okay. So that's that. Whoa! We've got a helicopter here. I guess someone else is gonna fly here on Borrego on PilotEdge. Okie doke. So we checked that. So pitot heat off, landing lights off, taxi lights off, strobe lights off, nav lights off. And we can turn down our flaps. They go down in sync and go down all the way, which is good. And now we can turn off our batteries. No, we cannot. Because now I should also check the avionics and all the other electrical equipment on board. So let's do that. Avionics on. Looks good. Let's do a test here. Transponder looks good. GPS is loading up. Non-shaded panel. Messages are all working. Oil pressure and vacuum is obvious as the engine is still off. And everything seems to look just fine. Looks good, looks good, looks good. Okay, no. Avionics off, batteries off. And parking brakes are still set. Okay, let's go outside. And do our exterior pre-flight. Okay, no. Start with the baggage compartment. There we go. Let's put our briefcase in. Let's say something like this, doesn't really matter. Okie-do. Alright, static air checked. ELT antenna is intact. Leading edges, everything seems to look just fine. Around here, let's give that a wiggle. Connecting rods, everything should look good, good, good. Rudder seems to look good. Antennas, nav antennas, beacon lights. Tie down, let's remove that while we're at it. Trim tab and the elevator tab on this side seems to be connected and work just fine. Okay. Again, following here. Seems to look good. Flaps. There's a wiggle, which is good. Let's look at the hinges, connecting rods. Look good. Okay. Ailerons. And let's have a look at the yoke while we're here to see if they are in sync. Yeah, that seems to work. Also, everything seems to be intact here on this side. Leading edge. Okay. Tie down. Remove. Chocks removed. Let's look at the red stripes here. Yep, on the tire and on this metal plate they are in sync. No friction there. Then we can do a sump. Let's pretend that we just did, because this is all just static stuff, not really dynamically implemented with the airplane, I believe. So we did that. We've got the vents here, they are clear. Let's get on top of the wing. Let's see if we've actually got enough gallons. Yeah, those are in sync with what we saw earlier in the cockpit on the fuel gauge. No damage here. Windshield looks good. Let's go down. Let's see if I can still free myself here from this camera position. Yeah. Oil. Enough. So that's good. Okay, we strut here, looks good. Exhaust, pipe, propeller blades look good. No bird's nest here. Air filter, okay, looks good. Other side, oh, static air. Check that that is clear. Nose wheel is in sync. Looks good. Again here, the filters, intakes look good. Pitot heat, well, we've already filled that it's working. The pitot heat and the pitot tube also is clear. Fuel vent. Again, don't know why there's only a fuel vent on this side of the wing and not on that side, but I guess the wings are connected. So you only need one, but I would expect to see another fuel vent here, but there isn't any. So, yeah. Don't know what's that about. If anyone knows, let me know. Lights, leading edges. Okay, let's remove the tie down here. Wingtip on this side looks good. Ailerons. Yep, are in sync. Wiggle of the flaps. Seems to be connected just fine. That's good. Wheel chocks removed. In sync. And that's it. We completed our exterior walk around. Awesome. So let's go inside. Close, no, not close the door, but first put on our seatbelts and have a sip of water. Oh man, looking forward to fly. Ha! Alright, close the door, and there we are. TrackIR on. Alright. So we're inside. We checked the internal systems. We checked the exterior, so that's good as well. So we can start with our engine startup checklist, I think. Let's open a window first. All right. So batteries on. Wrong switch there. Okay. Then we can. Fuel pumps are on. So let's do a fuel pump action here. In, it's 3. Well, this is not implemented, so full mixture. Parking brakes are set. No one is here. Okay, then. Starts. There we go. Set to 1000. Oil pressure is already in the green. Lean for ground. Flaps up. On, generator on, virtual headset on, and let's show the radar that we are alive on VFR. Okay. And everything is set and everything looks in the green. Yeah, that's just fine. Okay, so here we are. Let's put my Saitek panel here in sync. Okay. And allow the engine to warm up. Okay, so first ATIS. Does Borrego has an AWAS or something like that? Yeah, 126.575. And it's already set to my COM 2. So let's have a listen.
Borrego Valley Information Quebec. 1900 Zulu weather. Sky clear. Visibility more than 10. Temperature 31. Dew point 0. Wind 330 at 11. Altimeter 2969.
2969.
Arriving and departing runway 26. Advise on initial contact.
2969. Okay, let's see if that corresponds to for-flight elevation. 520. Seems to be about right, so that's good. Okay, so we got some winds here. Do we see a windsock? Let's see if I can use my for-flight and just peek underneath. Where's a windsock? Cannot see a windsock just yet. Okay, 3-3. Okay, so what's the airport doing? Let's see, 08 and 26. So it seems obvious that we're going to depart from 26 then with a wind from coming from the 300s, and we've got a 11 nautical mile, 11 knots headwind then. Okay, that's good. Transponder it is set. Let me see. Compass is in sync. 26 is set as a heading bug, and lights are on, and we are ready to go. Okay, so again, just a very brief kind of preview. Borrego, we're going to go to French Valley, but first we're going to do some practice maneuvers here around the Borrego Valley area. So steep turns, stalls, just to get a better feel of the Skyhawk, and then we move on and we fly all the way to French Valley. And the idea is first to get to this valley, this particular valley here on the north side of Borrego, and then we can just fly a particular heading, but rather we can fly inbound to this VOR. And and what is it called? Homeland VOR 113.4 to have a general direction here, radio track. So let's input that already in the nav1 or the nav2 because I like to have DME. 113.4. 113.4. 113.4. Boom, there it is. And what kind of a heading am I expecting to fly? Can I already see that here on my nav log? I guess so. 293. Yeah, that seems about right. So 29. Something like that. Yeah. And then once we have that lake Hemel on our right side as a visual reference point, we can make a turn to the left. We could also pick up on this VOR, the thermal VOR, and fly an outbound heading towards French Valley. So again, trying to remember that whole idea or approach to use PilotEdge and radio navigation at the same time, rather than just relying on one of those. So I guess we're ready to go. We also got French Valley AWAS. We can already set that to our COM2 standby, which is 119.02. 119.02. Okay, that's set. And what's the altitude that we're gonna fly? Well, we've got terrain, obviously, and we are going to the west. So I guess looking at the altitudes here, a safe altitude would be 6,500. Although I'm not expecting to fly 3,000 feet AGL on top of the terrain. That's the whole rule here, because only from that altitude on you should fly those VFR altitudes. So I guess we can also just pick our own, I guess, because we're not going to fly that much high up. We're not going to fly at 10,000 feet or something like that. So yeah, but 6,500. Okay, let's go. We are ready to go. 102.8, that's the frequency of Barico, right? Yeah. Okay. Cool. Again, no other traffic here. We're going to pick 26, so we're going to go to the left side there. Okay. I like the traffic here generated in X-plane. Remove park brakes. Release them. Brakes are working. Okay. Turn indicator works, heading indicator works, everything seems stable. There's that Learjet or other plane here that is flying on Barigo that we need to look out for. Although I'm not sure whether that's the Learjet, because it seems to be hovering. Oh no, there it goes. Okay, we've got winds from 3-3, so that's now we've got a tailwind, so we need to remember what to do. Ah, there's the windsock. Yeah, it's coming from behind. It was a Learjet. Here we go, other traffic. Good still. Okay. Also been looking into Flight Simulator Economy, FS Economy, which looks pretty cool. I mean, I've heard others mention FS Economy on Twitch and on YouTube, but somehow it never clicked. Never visited the site until recently and thought, oh my gosh, this is awesome. Having your own virtual bank account and your own virtual aircraft which is pretty cool. So I guess once I've got my V3 and I'm officially a virtual private pilot, I'm gonna start flying on FS economy as well. Still, I would like to buy my own Cessna or Skyhawk first before I start to fly, and to buy the Papa Hotel Tango in Jamaica instead of renting other airplanes. But yeah, you need 165,000 virtual dollars on FS economy to buy one, and my bank account has not that much money. It's at zero, to be honest. And FS economy, you're right, FS economy also forces you to go to other airports, which is cool. There are assignments there on Flight Simulator on FS economy. For example, transporting a passenger to another airport or some cargo. So it gives some a purpose to flying. Although for me now, training is my main purpose. But still, if you've once I've completed my VR ratings, my V ratings, my I ratings, I guess then it's pretty cool to explore or use FS economy to give your flights a little bit more purpose. Anyways, if anyone is listening and is willing to lend me 1,000 or 165,000 virtual FS economy dollars, that would be much appreciated. To buy myself a Papa Hotel Tango in Jamaica. Let me see. I should have parked here just to do my power check, my run-up. But let's do one here. Also got traffic in the pattern. Mixture full in. Okay. We already, and our engine is warm. Yeah, here we go. 1800s. Everything seems to be stable. Looks good. Left mag, small drop. Right mag, small drop. Looks good. Whoa. Full idle. Again, everything looks stable. No annunciator messages there. Back to 1,000. Okay, then I'd like to check my flight controls for the last time. Looks good. And my run. Yeah, looks too. Works too. Okay, so a very basic departure. We're going to depart to the south because there we're going to do some traffic, some practice turns and stuff, and then we're going to move up to French Valley. Okay, landing lights on, strobe lights on, transponders already set to on and to VFR. Elevator trim is set, fuel tanks. Okay, we're ready to go. Mixture full in. Now let's make sure that that Learjet is not on base, so perhaps it should be more safe to make a 360 here to make sure that he's not here. Oh, let's also close our windows. And let's just, oh, there it is. Okay, it's already on the runway. Full power. Let's catch that center line. Everything's in the green. 40. 60. Rotates. There we go. Birds beneath us. Whoa. Alright, let's get that climb going. VY. Perhaps it's better not to do traffic patterns here on Borrego Valley because we've got that Learjet drone traffic going on. So I'd rather just... Also did not do any announcement. Man. Should have announced my departure. Borrego Valley traffic, Skyhawk Papa Hotel Tango, Jamaica is leaving the traffic pattern to the south. Borrego Valley. Man, that's sloppy. Too hasty, I guess. So let's get out of this traffic pattern right away. Because I do not like that Learjet. go. A little bit of nose down trim. And I guess this is a nice area to do some practice. First up is going to be some steep turns. Okay, I guess we're far enough. Oh, there's the Learjet. Okay, cool. So let's keep on climbing, like 3,000 feet or something like that. If the engine stops on us or whatever, we have some room here to glide down. And again, looking here at ForeFlight, we've got a private airport here, Borrego, and this Kane West MOA starts at 10,000, so yeah, we are clear to go. There's Borrego. See some traffic here, I guess that's military. Yeah, on the right side. I don't know if you guys can see. So we need to be aware of what's flying around us. Okay, coming up to 30,000. All right. All right, so first up, steep turns. Now, what is a steep turn? Well, I guess it's around 45-degree turn, and this was 60, and that one was 30, so it's in between, I believe. Also, during a steep turn, let's stay on altitude, because that's the whole idea. Challenge. Again, making sure there's no traffic nearby. I can see some traffic there in the distance. Should have done some clearing turns here, but hey. First, let's trim a bit. Put our RPM to about, yeah, 2200, something like that. Okay. Full mixture. Landing lights, let's keep them on just to be more visible here around these airports. Okay, so turn. Keep on turning, then pulling on that yoke to keep on altitude. Keep on turning, keep on turning. Man, steep turn is steep. And pull on that yoke because I'm losing altitude. There we go. And I'm also losing speed, which is obvious. Again. Come on, Tim. 45. A little bit more power. Oh, this is fun. Okay, a little bit more pulling on that yoke. Looks good. And I guess while I'm doing these turns, I should be looking outside to make sure there's no one else, but I guess this is quite a demanding turn. Now let's go to the right. So there we are, lowering the nose, making the turn to the other side, allowing the nose to drop a bit, and then pulling. A bit more. There we go. There we go. I'm noticing that I'm focusing much more on the instruments than looking outside. So I'm actually flying a bit more IFR-like than VFR-like. So let's just focus outside. It's a little bit hard with the terrain here to spot the horizon, but okay, let me see. Just looking outside. Now I think I'm climbing now. No, I'm actually descending. Okay. It's subtle. Alright. And let's go level. Alright. Let's stay in the valley here. Not that bad. Not that bad. I have to admit though that flying these steep turns and all this stuff with an A2A airplane is a bit more challenging. It feels a bit more real. But still, not bad. See some traffic in front of me. 2 airplanes. I guess this is military because it moves pretty fast. And now it just disappeared. Again. Making sure no one is here. Okay. A stall. Let's do a power off stall. Let's put my nose a little bit out of the way of Borrego Valley Airport. So around here. Okay, keep on 3500. Power off. Goes suddenly pulling on that yoke. A little bit jerky. There we go. There we go. There we go. You can see, hear the stall warning. And there she goes. And let's recover. Oh, there we are, nose on the horizon. Okay. Let's do that one more time. Something to read to the review, Tim. I will check the chat soon, guys. I'm just focusing on flying right now. Let me see. Again. Let's use our speed to get back to 3500. Something like that. Let's trim up a bit. There's the stall warning. Pulling, 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 pulling. Man, it can go really slow with flaps up. And there we go. Down, power, go. Okay. Next up, let's do a very slow, let's do slow flights. Also quite challenging and important to practice. So here we go. First notch of flaps. Yeah, second notch of flaps. And full. Put some power in here. Okay, let's see if we can stick to 3000. Stick at 3000. Power off. Man, let's go slow. Okay, come on. More power, more power, more power, power, power. More power, not stall. I would like to hear the stall warning continuously while staying on 3000. Also, I'm noticing I don't need to input any rudder here, which is very strange. Also, not a lot of power. So again, making the Airfoil Labs Skyhawk not that realistic. Power, 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 power. Not bad. Not bad. Slow flight. Okay. Power. Full power in. Push on that. No. What's up? There we go. And here we are. Okay. Not that bad. 3000. Keep that speed in because we're still at 75. Let's head back a bit to Borrego. And it's over there. Okay. Trim a bit. Okay, so we did a power off stall, power on stall. What can we do next? We got steep turns. I like to do some traffic patterns. Let's do one here at the Borrego private airport here beneath us, because otherwise we've got. I think that Learjet is in our way. If it was a Skyhawk or something like that, we could manage, but. Yeah, this is a bit more difficult. So let's go for Borrego here, beneath us. Let's get a descent going. And what we can do is pick this runway here. So we still got our headwind. Make sure no one is here. Power out. Let's get down. Just make a 360 to the right here while we circle down. Landing lights are still on, strobe lights are on. Mixture's full. Okay. Some terrain to the right of us, but we're going to be fine. Okay, let's make that right turn. Put in one notch of flaps here. Keeping my nose down to maintain speed, but I guess I need a little bit more power. Yeah. Go. Where is that runway? There it is. Okay. We're already in the white band, airspeed wise, so another notch of flaps. Push down on the yoke and a bit more power. Nose down, trim. Okay. So let's do some traffic patterns here. And perfect our landings, our touchdowns. Okay, I can already see I'm a little bit crabbed into the wind, which is fine, but I guess around touchdown I need to swap my crab position for a forward slip, because otherwise I'm going to damage my wheels. Let me see. Go a little bit more slow. And a little bit more nose up trim. Okay. Because the wind is quite strong, I guess I'm going to... Now look at this, I'm crabbing to the wind to the right, so it seems like the wind is coming from the right. But if you look at the windsock, it's saying that the wind is coming from the left, which is weird. Wrong. Or the wind is coming from the left and the aircraft model of the Airfoil Labs Skyhawk is wrong, which could also be the case. Okay. Whoa. Oh man, that was a hard landing. My gosh, I'm quite high up. Again, flaps up. I thought I had some room. My gosh. Again, full power. 60, rotate. Oh, there we go. Man, that was a hard landing. Alright, here we go. VY. Again, focus. Let's already start with our crosswind leg here. Shallow turn. So what went wrong there? I guess I should have put in a little bit more power. I was quite slow. Much too slow. Keep on turning here. Do that one more time. Okay, parallel with the runway. Let's trim a bit. Less power. Okay. Here we are. Your flaps. There goes the airspeed, a little bit more power. A little bit more nose down. Okay, so far so good. So I need to focus on maintaining my airspeed here, and I'm also noticing that I'm being pushed to the right, which seems obvious. Yeah, so the wind is coming from the north, so I don't get why those windsocks are not showing the right direction. Okay, there we go. Speed within the white band. Where's the runway? There's the runway. Oh, power in. Yeah. There we go. Nose down trim. Okay. Start the turn a little bit high. Speed is good. A little bit too fast, perhaps. Okay, on final. Again. Focus. A little bit too high up. Speed is too great. Okay, there it goes. Nose a little bit crabbed into the wind. Little bit nose up, trim. There we go. Now let's maintain a speed of 60 or something like that. 65. Okay, now let's already start with our forward slip here if I can manage. So left rudder, right aileron. No, I can't. Focus. Come on. Well, let's just overfly the runway. Power. better, but not awesome. Flaps up. Power in. There we go. 50, 60, rotates. All right. So let's head to French Valley. We're currently here. Yeah, so let's overfly Borrego. Make sure we're not going to hit that Learjet. So we need to already be on the safe altitude. So let's make a left turn here. 270-degree turn. And that will bring us to Borrego Valley. There we go. Bring that turn in a little bit less of a bank. Yeah, but it's kind of a bit disappointing that the Airfoil Labs Skyhawk isn't that realistically designed in terms of stalls and I mean, not that you would be practicing or doing those stalls a lot during your flight simulator flights, but still. Okay, here we go. I can see already the traffic there, and there is Borrego. So let's keep on climbing. We need to go to 6,500 anyway for our cruise altitude. That's the valley that we need to fly through. Well, we're currently 3 miles from Borrego, south side. Borrego Valley traffic, Skyhawk Pop Hotel Tango Mike is 3 miles south of the airport at 2,700, climbing to 6,500. We're going to fly over the airport to the northwest, Borrego Valley. Okay, still keeping that Learjet in sight. We're above it. Which is good, but it's now making its downwind turn. Yeah, we're at the safe altitude. Cool. Letting the lights off. We don't need them anymore. There goes the Learjet. Can I still pick it? No, I can't. Wow. Okay. So let's continue our climb. And let's have a brief look at our flight. Yeah, so that's the valley that we need to go to, which is just in front of us, it's over there. And then we can fly an inbound heading towards, what was it called, Homeland, 113.4, which we have already set, I think, 113.4, yeah, on an F2, but we don't have any reading yet. Perhaps if we much more high up, we do have a reading. Some military traffic there, which is this stuff, the VR 1257 and VR 1266 airways, I guess. Don't know if you guys can see those. Yeah, in the far distance you can. Engine is still looking good. Though I like to lean my engine to keep it clean. Looking out for traffic. There's a lot of traffic here on those airways. Still, I guess at 6,500 would be fine for us to overfly. Look. There they go. They just follow the terrain. Coming up to 6,000. Reading of the nav2 yet. And there comes 6,500. Okay. So without touching the throttle yet, we'll just push on the yoke, allow the airspeed to increase. Push, 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 push. Yeah, there we go. And now we can reset our throttle, let's say to 2200 RPM. Again, allowing the airspeed to increase. Okay. Just trim a bit because I have a lot of pushing on that yoke. And let's lean. And there goes the EGT. Let's see how high up we can make it. There it goes. No, that's rich. Okay. Also, good comment by SimCFI, I guess. I'm sorry if I'm recalling your username wrong, saying that the EGT isn't that reliable because each cylinder in your engine has its own EGT and might be more reliable, I guess, to or just review other techniques to get to reach of peak or to get the best leaned setting. For example, looking at your RPM to see whether that drops, but I don't know if the RPM drops that subtly with the Airfoil labs. If I keep leaning, well, it goes slightly, I can see. Nice. Okay, still no reading on the nav2. 113.4, it's on the nav2. No signal. Just keep the audio panel here on, that as soon as it reads, we know as well. Let's make sure we need to, yeah. And our compass is synced with our heading indicator, which is good. Okay. Still, I'd like to fly a little bit more precise here. 6,500. Here we are. Been looking on YouTube to I discovered Airfly 2, version 2, which I believe is just released. So a couple of reviews there. It looks pretty good. I mean, it has many cool features. Very smooth. Seems to be quite similar to FSX. At least my first impression. I don't own Airfly 2 yet. But it looks pretty cool. Nice interface. Good flight behavior. So perhaps Airfly 2 might join the arena of more serious flight simmers here. I don't know. I guess it initially was a mobile platform, I believe, on iPad. I don't know for sure. And again, you can see how easy it is, or unrealistic it is, to fly an aircraft on the Airfoil labs. Flight dynamics are a bit off on the Airfly 2, but other than that, it's good sim. Yeah, I've seen a review also where some guy used the Skyhawk to do some power off stalls and that stuff, and you can see the same kind of unrealistic behavior as you see here on the Airfoil labs. Also, what I'm noticing here that I was about to say is it still strikes me how arcade-like the Cessna Skyhawk flies. I mean, look at this. I mean, it's a steady flight. There seems to be no air. It's just we're flying in a vacuum or something like that. Although I must admit that FSX with its default airplanes might also show the same kind of unrealistic stable flight. I don't know. But I mean, and it also frustrates me on some level that now with today's technology, hardware and software stuff, I mean, if you just imagine a GTA 5 team or a well, any kind of advanced car racing team, developers team, allowing to make a new flight simulator based on new technology. What that flight simulator could look like. I mean, even if you look at X-Plane, I mean, it looks great, but it is in no way comparable to what, well, some of the more advanced games and graphics and stuff can look like. And it's a big market, I believe. So it's a bit strange to me that no one has stepped up yet to just do a complete overhaul. I thought that the Dovetail would do that, but instead they just hacked into FSX and just made some upgrades. But so yeah, I've also been flying on I've been doing some test flights on Prepared lately. Again, flying on the 808 simulations, and it flies very, very well. I'm still a big fan of 808 simulations, although somehow X-Plane has a better feel to it. I guess the light effects are one, but also it just runs smoothly. Better frame rates. I like the interface also. I mean, somehow, I don't know. Yeah, I know that the flight simulator market is relatively small in comparison to other markets, but still, I mean, it's insane how much money and time is invested in games like GTA 5. I mean, I know that that's a completely different market. In comparison to GTA 5, the flight sim market is well, negligible, I guess. But still, I can imagine a modern day flight simulator based on that modern day hardware and software, and I mean, it would be completely I would be mind blown to see how that might look like. Also, like an Airfly 2, the reflections on the gauges, reflections of the clouds and the cockpit. I mean, very subtle graphic stuff that really makes it much more immersive, let alone if we can fly on the Oculus. With the Oculus Rift. I really like the recent review of Frugal. Flying with Oculus. Fly Inside, I think, is it called? Which looked pretty awesome. Whoa, got some new weather, I guess. Okay, need to retrim. We get back to 6,500. Have you given up on A2A? No, I've not. No, I'm still a big A2A simulations fan, but I don't know, somehow X-Plane just got my attention, and I thought, well, why not? I mean, we could just try. But these are the things that make flying, well, much less realistic or challenging. I mean, it's so easy. It's almost funny how easy it is to fly an airplane on X-Plane, even an Airfoil Labs airplane. It's too steady. It's too basic. So yeah, but still, it's also much cheaper. I love the X-Plane community, and I also love the failure system of X-Plane and the bird strikes and all this stuff that is there. Although the Airfoil Labs, as we've seen in the previous episode, doesn't seem to make use of that failure system. When Keith created that vacuum problem, for example, we didn't notice anything going wrong or anything wrong with the instruments. So yeah, potentially X-Plane, I guess, is a nice training platform. But in terms of flying, just the flying itself, I mean, X-Plane or Prepared and FSX do also have their own failure systems. But yeah. So no, I haven't decided yet whether I'm flying with X-Plane from now on or with Prepared, and I don't think I have to. Just excited and curious to see what each flight simulator has to offer. I really like the fact that this X-Plane just works like a suite almost. All the plugins are in the flight simulator itself. I like the clouds. I like the light effects. I also like the sloped and curved runways of X-Plane. Although PilotEdge recommends us to disable that feature because then the drone traffic and the other traffic of the other pilots flying the positions might be wrong. So you see an airplane taxiing a few feet above the curved runway or curved taxiway. I can see an airport over there. Quick look here what that might be, because I don't see any airport here on my flight. I do see a lake, small lake, Lake Hemel. Perhaps that's that lake. And still no reading of Homeland VOR. Yeah, I was trying to fly 6500, but as you can see, the terrain actually is coming up. Ah, we've got Homeland. Yeah, at least let's check. Where is it? Homeland. Man, oh, there it is. Yeah. So we've got Homeland here. And why don't we have a DME reading yet? Because I I've got a wrong setting here. No. No, I guess not. So we can fly inbound to homeland. And I guess the needle will creep in on us. But there's an airport over here, which is kind of a surprise. Because there is no airports here. Where am I? Here. At least. No. So that's weird. So now we are on track here, on course. So let's turn to 299. Yeah, so 6,500 was a bit too low. Although I have to say that looking at the planning here, if that is Lake Hemel here in front of us, oh, there's also a lake over there. Again, it's so easy to confuse lakes. That's why it's so important just to use radio navigation too. So we're now on the track to homeland, right? Yeah. Let me disable TrackIR here. Right. Yeah, so that Lake Hemel should be on our right side. Compass is checks. Got a 2 reading. We know that we've got homeland. So Lake Hemel should actually be on the right. Is there also a lake to the left of us then? No, there isn't. Homeland 113.4. Yeah, we checked that. Weird. There's a lake here, but there's also a lake over there. And I don't see that lake on the map. Power. Okay, see another lake over there. So I guess there are a lot more lakes here than 4Flight actually shows. Why don't we see a reading 113.4. Yeah. There's a big lake in front of us. It's weird. I'm not trusting what I'm doing here. Why do I see an airport over there and not on 4Flight? Let me check. And I see a lot of lakes over there. Which seems to me that perhaps we're already flying here. We're near MHz Ryan. There's a small lake. And there's Riverside, so no, we couldn't be flying over there. Just to make sure, I do not know where I am. Although I know that I can fly that radial inbound to homeland, I don't have a DME reading, but I can change the frequency, I guess, here. 113.4. We checked it, we verified that it was homeland. We were flying that radial inbound. But there were a lot of lakes. Lake Hemel there to the right of us. And we've got an airport, which is weird why that wasn't shown on. That is confusing to me. We could always switch on our GPS, but I'd rather. There's an airport over here. So what we could do then, because I don't have any visual reference here because there are a lot of lakes, I could just stick to flying towards inbound to homeland. And I should have flown over Hammond Ryan, and then I know where I am and just go south. I guess that's the best solution here. Restricted airports. Yeah, but I don't think that is that restricted airport. Perhaps it is, but I think it's weird when I'm flying on the radial, but I'm not on the radial yet, that I can see that airport. Yeah, it should be that airport, I guess. So that one, small lake with an airport on the side. So that means that I'm flying around here. To me that is a bit strange, because when I'm flying the 299 radial inbound, I should be much more up north. Or perhaps not. Where's the other course? 299. Yeah, 299, something like that. Well, perhaps I'm wrong. Because this would mean that I'm flying exactly over that airport, that our airport here, Ernst, and this one, Lake Riverside. Okay. Man, I'm really messing up my PilotEdge navigation here. I get confused so easily. See some scenery down here. Guess that's an airport, or I don't know. Let's fly that radial a bit. That means the French Valley is to the left of us. Lakes over there. Let me see. Yeah, so chances are we've got Skinner Reservoir there to the left. That might be, or it is Vale Lake. I guess it's Vale Lake. then I know it's near a mountain ridge. Yeah, and there's no city. I guess that's feel like. Okay, so perhaps we're around here, guys. And that makes sense because then I would have seen Lake Riverside. Yeah. So Vale Lake. So if I fly over that lake in front of us, we might see French Valley already located in the distance. And I guess I can already see it laying in the distance. Over here. Okay. A big city to the right. This is clearly city textures. Let me double check here. Because if I look on my 4 flights, a lake and a big city, then there would be Hamid Ryan in between. Man. And that might be Hamid Ryan. That could be just be another airport. Again, I'm not trusting my senses here. I do see a particular shape of a lake here, which corresponds to Skinner Reservoir. And then behind it, there should be an airport, and I can see an airport, and there should be a big city behind that airport, and there is a big city. So my guess is that that is French Valley. There should be a mountain, Murrieta, behind it. There's also a mountain behind it. Yeah. So my guess is that is I probably know for sure. There's French Valley. 119.025. Let's check for comms.
Murrieta, French Valley information Sierra. 2100 Zulu weather. Sky clear. Visibility more than 10. Temperature 15. Dew point 7. Wind light and variable.
Cool.
Altimeter 2991. Arriving and departing runway 36. Advise on initial contact. You have Sierra.
French Valley. Runway 18 or 36. So let's pick 36. 6. Altitude, airport elevation is 1350, 1350, so 2300 would be our traffic pattern altitude. Landing lights on. 1 to 2.8 is the CTAF, and we are currently 3 miles. Right pattern, yeah, right pattern 36. So we're going to enter the downwind, right downwind 36. Okay. French Valley, Skyhawk Papa Hotel Tango India Mike is 4 miles east of the airport at 3,700 inbound to enter the right downwind runway 36 for a full stop. French Valley. There you go. Mixture full in. Let's trim a bit. 1,000 feet to go until we're on traffic pattern altitude. Is this a personalized Cessna? Well, kind of. I've photoshopped the interior a bit to make it a little bit more personal. But guys, I must say, even though X-Plane looks cool, and it definitely has something to it, I'm missing A2A. So yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I mean, it looks stable. I really like X-Plane, but it has some downsides, and I guess it's about what are you looking for in your flight sim. I mean, I know many pilots just like to practice their ATC, and so it doesn't really matter what flight simulator you use. But if you're really focusing on your flight skills, for example, in my current flight, my practice flights, then it makes more sense to use A2A and prepared or FSX. If you do night flying a lot, X-Plane. If you like failures and managing failures, there are a lot more failure systems in place here on X-Plane. So guys, here we are. Traffic pattern altitude. There's the runway. 45 degrees, something like that. There goes the speed. 1 notch of flaps. No one's in the pattern. Okay, let's enter downwind. French Valley traffic, Skyhawk, Papa Hotel Tango, and iMac is entering the right downwind leg, runway 36 for a full stop. French Valley. A little bit more power. Some cloud buildup I can see in the distance. One thing that I don't like about prepared yet, even though I've got Orbix, I think that the custom scenery here on X-Plane, which is free, makes the airports much more crowded. There are not a lot of specific airport-specific scenery of Orbix for the SoCal area. So, for example, John Wayne looks completely barren on prepared, which is quite unfortunate because it's one of the most interesting airports on the PilotEdge network. Let's do our base leg here. French Valley traffic, Skyhawk Papa Hotel Tango iMac is turning right base runway 36 for a full stop. French Valley. Let's do some flaps here. Here we go. High. French Valley traffic, Skyhawk Papa Hotel Tango iMac is turning final runway 36 for a full stop. French Valley. The speed. Let's keep it there. 1 red, 2 reds. And there we go. Whoa. Almost forgot about that aircraft height. There we are. Flips up. Our French Valley looks nice. You're an X-Plane. Cool. Yeah, so, I don't know yet. And I just in general don't like the idea that there are so many flight simulators. I mean, it is obvious what people want, I guess. Why isn't there just one platform which is... Oh, I don't know. There we go. Let's take this one. French Valley traffic, Sky, Papa Delta, Mike is clear, runway 36, French Valley. Landing lights off, strobe lights off. We didn't put our transponder back to altitude. My gosh, this was one of the most sloppy flights ever. Oh, I guess I was just, on a psychological level, just wanting to fly just to relax. Thank you for following, MiniWebs. Just to relax rather than just to train, which is a completely different attitude, which you can see in my flight performance today, unfortunately. Oh man, this looks nice. Let's see. I'd like to go to the hangar here. No, I'm gonna put it here. Over here and over here. Come on, come on. Boom. Okay, transponder to off, avionics off, cut off. There we go. Ignition switch to off, generator on, batteries off, virtual headset off, parking brakes on. Let's open the door. And there we are. On French Valley. Man, that was sloppy. Yeah, so it's interesting to see, not only to review your flight as your technical flight skills, but I guess also the mindset that I was in flying wasn't right. It was more like, oh, I'm a bit tired, I'd love to fly just to regenerate, which is fine because that's just flight simulator and it's also part of the whole idea. But yeah, I'm really trying to nail my V ratings here and my IFR ratings soon. So yeah, this is not one of those flights where I truly learned something. What I did do, which was kind of good, was making sure that I was making use of PilotEdge and radio navigation at the same time. Still though, I got myself distracted and confused locating where I was. So even though I thought that I was flying this particular leg, and I should have seen that airport and that lake to the left of us and Hemel to the right, we haven't seen Hemel at all, I guess, during this flight. I was actually flying something like, well, I don't know, something like this. Which, well, I don't know. Or perhaps I was flying... I was flying something like this direction. Coming from this direction, yeah. So that was sloppy, and my landings at Borrego Valley, not Borrego Valley, but Borrego, were quite nasty, but there were some strong winds there, and it got me confused why the windstocks were showing different directions, but still, the first landing was much too extreme, very, very hard, so that was bad. And well, the landing here at French Valley was kind of cool. Nothing much wrong with that. Nice. Yeah. So yeah, I kind of enjoyed myself, but I haven't learned a thing, and I was not anything that I'm really proud of in this flight. It was nice, but still. And explain versus prepared. So what I'm going to do, I could obviously just switch between these simulators, but yeah. So let's just do a quick. So I've been flying on X-Plane now for, well, I guess a month or so. I've been exploring X-Plane the month before that, but still flying X-Plane now. So one of the things that I really like about X-Plane is the fact that you don't need that much payware add-ons. It's more cheap, but in my case it doesn't really matter because I've already bought that payware for Prepared and stuff, but still it's cheap. I really like the community, also the case for Prepared. So I really like the light effects of X-Plane. So if we go here to tonight, I think yeah. I mean, look at this. I think it looks really, really cool. Dark is dark, but still, okay, so that is cool, but most of the time we're flying by daytime, right? So, okay. One of the things I also like of X-Plane are the curved runways, but then again on PilotEdge it's recommended to turn those off. One thing I really liked about X-Plane was the failure system, but the Airfoil Labs Cessna Skyhawk apparently doesn't make use of that failure system. It has its own. Perhaps in the upcoming upgrade, it's more, it's better. Also, as we've seen in this episode, the power off and the power on stall stuff are not that realistic. So the only thing that remains, I guess, from X-Plane is the fact that it is somehow much more a suite or much more a standalone kind of flight simulator, I guess. But there's something in X-Plane that I think is really beautiful and is nice. Is simple, is minimalistic, is lean, is, I don't know, it's I like it somehow. But if I look at my training, which is my primary goal, I think I'm better off flying on Prepared and with A2A simulations, because in terms of training it's a highly realistic airplane, one. And two, we've got much more realistic weather. Active Sky Next, aside from Rex, that it looks great, Active Sky Next is much more detailed than the weather here in X-Plane, which is good for my training in terms of forecast and that stuff. PilotEdge doesn't make a difference whether you're flying on X-Plane or on our Prepared, other than in here on X-Plane, PilotEdge is a module, is a plugin that's already in Flight Simulator. But yeah, it's a technicality. The only downgrade, or the one thing that I'm a bit disappointed of in Prepared and Flight Simulator, FSX, still, but I guess Orbix is the king of scenery building, but it's still that a lot of airports in the so-called area are still a bit barren. And a little bit of a frame rate drop there. X-Plane is more quick here, much more smooth here on Windows than Prepared. So, summing all things up, I need to switch to Prepared, I guess. I'm much more prepared for the real-world flying when using Prepared with A2A simulations. Even though I like some aspects of X-Plane, I think that Prepared prepares you more for the real world flying stuff. Yeah. So I think I'm going to switch back again to Prepared, I guess, guys. And well, if I feel like flying on X-Plane for doing a night flight or whatever, I'm going to easily switch back to X-Plane. But yeah, Nietzsche, I know. I've also been flying X-Plane on my Mac. For one reason, because I love the fact that it can be run on a Mac. But I get a 20 or 30 frame rates per second increase if I run X-Plane on a Windows computer. That's one. Second, there is a plugin for TrackIR on my Mac, but on several cases it gives me a hard reboot on my Mac. So during a flight, just my entire Mac just shuts down and reboots. If I run that plugin, and on Windows it just works natively, so I prefer flying on Windows with X-Plane. And it doesn't really matter that much. I also like that it's in a separate partition where I run X-Plane and my Flight Simulator. Yeah, but and also what I really like, by the way, of the Airfoil Labs Skyhawk, but yeah, it's not really a big thing in terms of training, is the fact that you can do this physical walk around. I really like the fact that it has a physical presence. It feels like I'm present in the in the flight simulator rather than just these static views, which is a silly thing, obviously. But yeah, these are minor things that some, also the birds that are flying around the airport, those tiny things somehow really make the flight simulator world, at least in my case, the virtual reality here, a bit more realistic, or a bit more, I don't know, immersive. There's some nice features here in Explain, but in terms of my training, I think I'm better off with Prepared and flying the Skylane. What I could do, by the way, is just get the that could be a consideration, but I don't know if that's that important. I could also buy the purchase the Cessna Skyhawk of 808. I don't know if there's an advantage there rather than using the Skylane or the Skyhawk. I don't think so. Skyhawk is a bit, the Skylane is a bit more advanced, which I like. Also, more in sync with my Saitek panels with a prop lever. So, no, I think I will just stick to the Skylane, I guess, and just fly on Prepared, because I have much more realistic weather, I have a much more realistic airplane, and I've got PilotEdge. And those three things, well, and also, well, scenery-wise, I think that scenery-wise, X-Plane, even the default scenery, is much more VFR ready, proof than Orbix is still. Although I know that Orbix will soon, or already has launched, the OpenLC or the Vector, or I guess OpenLC version of all North America scenery, which I guess promises all flight simulator pilots that it becomes even much more VFR-like, VFR-proof scenery, which I really like. And that's something that I do like here on X-Plane, that the roads and the stuff and the lakes are much more precise, at least in my experience, than in case of Prepared or FSX. But still, if you take those three, real world weather, a realistic airplane, and PilotEdge, and the PilotEdge doesn't really make a difference whether you use it on X-Plane or Prepared, at least in my opinion, then that already shows that I need to fly on Prepared to really develop those realistic flight skills. Interesting. Okay, nice experiment then. Perhaps just to prove to myself that I can still fly on Prepared. I mean, I'm expecting to see a little bit of a training bump there when I head back to Prepared and flying the A2A simulations aircraft. I mean, this is flying on X-Plane is really simple. I guess I need to just do a V1 rating once more with the Skylane. Also just to honor the Skylane, and also, well, just to prove again that I'm capable of doing it. And also, I don't have any hurry right now because I'm not going to visit Flight SimCon. So I have a lot of time then to really get serious with my training again. And as you've seen today, I still have a lot to learn, although I guess in this flight it had more to do with my attitude, my mindset, rather than just my plain flight skills. Which is also an interesting dimension. Even in the flight simulator you can see that if you're just in there just to fly casually, which is totally fine, or for whatever reason other than serious training, you can I can see that I'm not that on par, I'm not that proficient in flying, and I get a little bit sloppy, a little bit hasty. So I'm looking forward to review this particular episode soon, just to have a better idea of, just to see if I can notice subtle stuff, just the psychology of flying or flight simulator flying, which I find also quite interesting. Okay guys, so to summarize, I'm heading back to Prepared with the A2A simulation Cessna Skylane here on French Valley. So let's pretend that we just have been flying the Skylane for these last previous flights. Perhaps we're going to do my V1 on John Wayne with the Skylane if I feel like it, and then head up to V2 and V3 to really get that flying going. So thank you for watching, guys. Hoping to see you next time. I'm hoping to fly, well, I am going to fly because I'm not going to the US next week. So I have a lot of spare time really to fly, so you can expect a lot of streams next week. So perhaps even I'm able to get my V3 rating by the end of the week. So let's see how far I can reach. Okay, so guys, thank you again, and hoping to see you next time. Bye.
I'm passing through 500 Shamrock, 715.
715, 134.125.